in trying to fix my forehand, I question, do we have to lean forward on the forehand? Think, don't play 21. And so we compiled a bunch of different people. I like girls because they're technically more sound than noise, and it'll become more obvious in this video. Do we need to lean forward when we hit, like lean forward from the waist up with knees bent, forming like a V? This is what I mean. Do we need to have this kind of a V thing going, where your back and your hips with your legs form like a V shape almost like an inequality sign actually? And so is this important when you're hitting your ground strokes to maximize your power? But I think it varies based on the strength of the player also. Oh yeah, dude. So do we have to lean forward when you're striking the forehand? And we're only looking at the forehand because I think backhands with two hands and slice makes a difference. So here in the first series on the return, there is pretty upright upon impact, but it is a return. So I think the one thing I notice is on defense, players tend to be more upright and not able to lean forward because you're reacting to the shot. You can't get a good lean in. We'll look at that forehand again. So you're in defensive right here, can't really get a good lean in on the back foot. Finally, an opportunity to step in right here. And that's the first lean in right there. That's what we mean by the lean in. Your back and your legs, your knees are bent, your hamstrings and your quads form an angle with your hips and your back. So your power transferring forward. I think to have a good forehand, you're going to have to get a good lean into the shot. Now, how important is that lean in on the shot? So we'll look at different players again. The same players, but now we're focusing on this lean in. This is a very strong guy. And he has a lot of body weight moving forward, but he doesn't get that lean that we talked about previously. But this is where, when you copy pros, it's very difficult because they're very talented, they're very strong. These are the same lines I used before in the other girl, when she was very upright. I didn't move them at all, I just pasted them as is. And notice the similarities. Very upright. She's on the return, she's coming forward slightly, body weight up. Back is straight, along with the hips and the legs, she's pushing up on the shot. And then you'll see that the boy, the man, is similar, very upright also. Hips, shoulders, all lined up, transferring weight to the shot. Use a lot of arm right there. Now watch his shoulders. Shoulders and hips are lined up. His shoulders are pointing towards the ball. Then as he rotates into the shot, shoulders and hips are lined up again. But now he's making impact with the ball. And then watch the follow through. All the way around. So I think that's where he gets his power from. He doesn't have to have that big lean in because he has a great shoulder return and he's a very strong person. So let's look at the shoulders and see if that's more important than the lean. In my opinion, I'm not really sure. We start out with the lean. He's leaning. But on impact, he's very upright. But it's a return. So I think when you're on defense, you're going to tend to be more upright. If possibly you try to lean in, but you're also reacting to a shot. So it might force you out of position physically. So in theory, the idea would be you would have to start leaning in more often. So he's leaning forward now. Backhands are for the day. Defense, moving back. Can't lean in right there. Finally, his first opportunity. There's a lean that we talked about. Guys, weight on his front feet. His head and shoulders are right above his toes slightly. Leaning forward. Got a really good load going right here. This is the lean that I'm talking about in terms of hitting the shot. But this guy has a remarkable, remarkable forehand. It's upright. Watch his shoulders. He's transferring weight forward now. Now this is, I think he's just a really strong guy. Very athletic. It's very hard to hit forehand like this. He's airborne. It's amazing. Hips and shoulders are all lined up. He's rotating to his shot. He's pushed off with his legs. And he rotates all the way around. Look at his legs. It's a whole body rotation. I couldn't hit a forehand like this if I tried. So this is an example of where you have a professional player able to do stuff that normal people just can't do. I mean, that's just crazy, the amount of rotation he had in that shot. This is just an amazing shot. Start down, rotate all the way through the shot. So now we see that the lean in is not so important as it seems. It's more of a preparation kind of thing. The shoulder rotation, you got the lean right here. She's setting it up. There'll be a weight transfer, but I think it's more about a shoulder thing. Get the bent load. Stay low. You want to push off with that back leg and step into the court. But look at the shoulder rotation. Shoulders and hips are lined up. Whenever you're in offense, you're going to try to get the lean and put your weight through the shot. Big turn. The shoulder rotation seems to be very important to hit a very effective forehand. This is an amazing shot to hit actually right here. He's actually got the massive lean in right there. He's almost like falling over. So the lean in becomes a prep thing, and then you push off with that back leg into the ball and transfer your weight forward, rotating your shoulders. This is an amazingly athletic positioning, and I don't think a lot of people can do this shot right here because he's still low. He's tilted at an angle. He's hitting it inside out forehand. And the impact point is so far in front of him. It's just amazing. But you can take the pointer in the shoulder rotation, transfers weight to the hand, and that's your lean into the court. So by leaning forward, you get more wide weight transfer coming forward. Add in the rotation of the shoulders, transfer the weight from the back foot to the front foot, get it to your hand, creates a very big shot. I don't advocate this forehand or the other forehand from the other guy that rotated around airborne. I wouldn't be able to do this. I like this forehand because she has this classic lean position right here. The return, they all stand all pretty upright on the return. Moving backwards on defense. Whenever someone's on defense, it's going to be very straight. And the idea is that you don't want to be straight. You want to get a lean in, but when you're on defense, this is what you got to do. You got to try to get yourself in position. But watch the shoulder rotation. He's leaning forward. Get that weight in the back foot. Loading the racket. And then what you see happening is they're going to rotate the shoulders using your knees into the shot. Watch the shoulders. Got a great turn right here to load. Rotates the shoulders and hips together. Make its impact right in front. Pushing off with the legs ready. Weight transfer coming forward. The knee is straight now. And complete turn on the forehand shot. So you go from one shoulder, you have your one shoulder, you got your left shoulder by your head, and you finish with your right shoulder by your head. And the racket's finishing behind your back. So So you start with the bent load, go into the shoulder rotation to the shot. Might be a body type thing too. This person is tall and lanky, but she maintains a pretty good lean throughout both sides of the stroke. He doesn't really lean, but his forehand's amazing. There's a load right there. Not really leaning over though, but the knees are bent. So maybe the knees being bent are more important than the bent load or the shoulder rotation. That's the rotation you want. Shoulder, left shoulder by chin, then finish off with right shoulder. So we've been looking for the lean, but maybe the lean's a load thing. The shoulder turn is more important, and the lean is a knee bend, so that's the most important thing. If you watch all the people hitting, they all have a knee thing going. Knees are bent. Knees stay bent. And then there'll be an extension as they come up with the shot. He's very upright, but he's also very strong. That makes a difference to how strong you are. Also, he really explodes to the shot. He started up bent initially, then he pushes up into the shot. You'd have to have it 7 times the way this guy is. You got bent knees. It's an amazing athletic person. This is a mix because her knees are bent and then she's straight also. She'll hit, her knees are bent, straight, knees are bent, straight. Oh yeah, dude, knees bent on this one. She's really tall too. Forehand. So, what do we learn? It's about having bent knees, lean into load, rotate your shoulders. Depends on your athleticism, if you can keep the bent knee throughout the shot. Generally speaking, you want to have a good lean into the court, a massive shoulder rotation. And that's something to think about in your forehand.